Imagine you're walking around on campus one day and you see a tent with a sign that says college is a scam. You feel a certain way and you see a bunch of kids crowded around and you go up to the tent. Likely it's a Turning Point event. Turning Point USA is a student-focused political organization that has heavily influenced the young generation of voters. They push a conservative ideology and values that relate mostly with conservative policies. No matter what side of the political standpoint you're on, the right, the left, somewhere in between, Turning Point helps young individuals find who they are on the political side. Either you're right and you agree with Turning Point, or you're on the left and you disagree, or you're somewhere in the middle, you disagree with both. I've studied various books and scholarly articles on this topic and am well versed in what Turning Point has done for the young youth in voting standpoints and how we can all come together politically. Today, in this speech, we'll be talking about just a few things that Turning Point has done for the youth and how they have come up from the ground up and are almost on tens of thousands of college campuses around the world. Some of these focuses will be on the origins, the mission, on what Turning Point was set out and created to do, the impact that it has on these college campuses that they are at, why there is some critique and criticism when it comes to the ideas that they push out, and lastly, the future roles that Turning Point is used for. So first, we'll start with the origin. A young Charlie Kirk at 18 years old started this movement in 2012 to just talk with young kids on college campuses and debate about some things that he felt were some things that were heavy on his heart, like politics was a big thing. He's grown this small company that he started with Turning Point into a very, very large scale operation with people that work for him and other chapters around the entire world, and have amassed almost 10,000 of these chapters around the world, according to Turning Point USA. Next, we'll look at the mission on why Turning Point USA is a thing. Turning Point's mission is basically to identify, educate, and train the young minds on just speaking out on your political views. They really want to push the idea that we can have a civil conversation no matter if I'm on the right and you're on the left. Some of the ways they push this mission is by putting up these attention grabbers like college is a scam. And we can see that in this PowerPoint here. These attention grabbers just pull people in and want them to debate with us or with Turning Point. They also hold major conferences where students go and connect with other big influential political people and are taught how to speak to public in a distinct manner where it is not a fight, but a civil debate. Next, we'll look at the impact on Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk created this organization to come onto more liberal campuses and push opposite views just to see if he could get some of these young individuals to move away from what the media was talking and not so much jump on his side, but just to see where everybody else was coming from. There is many criticism, as you know. Here we can see some of the young people that have attended this was in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we can see that these kids just come out and listen to him speak and debate against young people. The scholarly article produced by Jay Weiss, What is a Youth Political Participation, really shows us like what the impact does to these young voters and how it gets them to tap into the humanities of politics and lets them have these nice these debates with other students that they may not have the same views as. So we can see here that Charlie Kirk has sadly passed away recently at one of his events. This criticism comes from some of these issues that he presents they overcomplicate, and this is where the criticism comes from. He pushes these views to almost target the liberal ideology, but he just wants to have civil conversations with these people. Rieger's book, Academic Structures of Politics, really shows us just how our emotions are pulled when we are in these political debates. Lastly, we'll focus on the future and what Turning Point does to future voters. I think this whole movement is really getting people to vote and connect with a culture that in our generation is not as widely sought after. I don't think a lot of young people are going after politics as much as they used to be. So I think that Turning Point is really helping us young voters realize where we are in life and what our views are. All in all, Turning Point USA is used to educate and should not be looked upon as something bad, but something good for politics, to where I may be on the right side and you may be on the left side, but we can come together and have a civil conversation or a civil debate. That's all. Thank you. That shit was long as